I'm sure you all remember the pilot episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, Help Wanted. What most people don't know, however, is that there was an earlier episode entitled Bob the Sponge, dating back to 1998. I, or rather my niece, had stumbled across a page on Nickelodeon website asking for details to join some sort of SpongeBob SquarePants fan club, which I hesitantly signed up for. A few days later, a SpongeBob box set arrived at my house courier, along with a single VHS labeled Bob the Sponge 1998. It started with a black screen. The music was unnerving. It sounded like it was some slowed down ukulele tune being played backwards, and it was continuously looping throughout the episode. After about 20 seconds, a still image of Tom Kenny dressed as Patchy the Pirate, sitting on his oversized bathtub appeared, staying exactly 6 seconds, followed by a title card reading Bob the Sponge in a plain font. The episode began. It was basically SpongeBob, or Bob the Sponge, being going around Bikini Bottom visiting his friends. There were no voices despite the characters moving their mouths. This Bikini Bottom, however, was totally different from the one you were accustomed to, some of your major differences being Sandy, she has no underwater gear, her house was a log cabin, and not a tree dome seen later on in the episodes. Mr. Krabs is seen with a female crab, who may be his wife, or an early version of Pearl. Squidward, his house is a windmill as opposed to the Easter Island head when on the rest of the series. And also his house had changed places with Patrick's house. Plankton, he seems to be the same size as the other characters. His body was red and he had only one antenna stick out of his top head. Nothing unusual seemed to happen in the episode until the end. SpongeBob was standing in the middle of nowhere, looking up the sky and laughing. The screen then panned up just to show what he was laughing at. Sandy's drowned corpse, floating on the water's surface. Her body just bubbled in the water for 10 seconds, after which the episode began to play backwards until it got back to the live action of Patchy. The title card appeared again. This time the font was still illegible, like if it was handwritten. The episode started playing again, although this time there were no buildings or anything, just characters interacting on the bright green background. This time when the characters opened their mouths to talk, garbled sounds came out, though I can't understand them. The episode played through that until it got to the image of Sandy's dead body. The episode then began playing backwards again, and this time it went to the image of Patchy the Pirate. He got up and started screaming really loudly, and thrashing his limbs while bloodshot eyes darted frantically. The episode then started again, with the same handwritten title card. The sounds of Tom Kenny screaming and splashing still present. This time, there were just color blurs moving around in the background, making really unsettling gurgling noises. It played like that until it got to Sandy's dead corpse. However, this time it cut straight to Patchy the Pirate, who simply said something. But it was a garbled sound. I can hear what he said because she was shouting, and he said, "Hey kids, stay tuned for Help Wanted!" before cutting to 7 minutes of static. And that was Bob the Sponge, a creepypasta. My final thoughts on this story. I actually thought that this one actually had a pretty good concept for this story, and it seems to be a very good and original story. However, though, I do remember Shadow Reader read this story back in 2017 on his old channel before it was terminated. So I remember Shadow Reader actually narrated this story. I mean, this one, I think it must be an older story because Shadow read this back in 2017. I don't know if Gage Fortin was the one who wrote the story. I think that's what it says on the title, that someone made a video narrating this story at one point before I think they private the video or something. I honestly don't remember, but if anyone can confirm with that in the comments, please let me know. Because I'm just gonna leave this as anonymous for now until I find out who the original author of the story is. So yeah, if I find out who the original author of the story is, I'll be sure to give him proper credit. So, anyways, the concept of its own self, with the pilot episode SpongeBob being help wanted. In this one in 1998, the pilot episode for this was called Help Wanted. It seemed to be a pretty interesting concept. It seemed to be a really amazing, good and well-made story. I honestly really have to say this story was a pretty good one actually. I mean, I really personally like it. I thought it was really neat. Personally, I really do think that this is actually a really well made story. I personally like it. It's epic. Like, I mean, this was like really well made for a pilot episode. I mean, it's not cliched. Well, I mean, it's an older story. It did have somewhat of a little bit of cliches, but like having the VHS tape appear on the box set and all that. I mean, while I can say that's cliched, I still find it believable because it's like an older story. Because this one manages to work. But I do wish that there was a little more added to this. That way it would make it more sense, but it would also be more believable in a sense. I'm apologize if I'm not making any sense, but that's just what I think personally. So, I guess with that being the case, that being said, I'm going to sit here and say this one actually has a really well made concept. I thought it was nice. I do find it to be, a good and enjoyable story. I personally thought it was really well made. So, I guess with that being the case and with that being said, I gotta say it's a really good story. It's definitely well made. It's definitely a pretty good concept. I honestly thought this one was. It does have a really great, amazing concept for this, well, pilot episode. Like, SpongeBob SquarePants was originally going to be, you know, Bob the Sponge. I think SpongeBob SquarePants, makes more sense than Bob the Sponge. At least that's on my personal note, but maybe you guys might have a different opinion. But like I'm going to say, this is just my own opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas. This is simply just my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story is I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. While the grammar is good, I did spot a few grammatical errors, but other than that, I thought this was pretty amazing. But like I said, you guys will have your own opinions in the comments below because I know you guys may have your own opinions. If you like this story, that's fine. If you don't like it, that's perfectly understandable. So I guess with that said, what did you guys think? So leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to my channel, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.